I'm going to talk about the major kinds of collisions. And a collision is one or more objects coming together and hitting. And then their momentums, I will say, being exchanged, being transferred. Um, Another way of saying the system of objects where there are some internal forces going on. Okay, the first kind is elastic. Okay, and by the way, collisions. If no net external force, if some force is equal to 0, then there is no change in momentum. So P is conserved. I'm not sure why my board is doing this. So it's going to be a little sketchy for a little while. If there's no net external force on the system, momentum is conserved. So elastic, momentum is conserved. Inelastic, momentum is conserved. Completely or perfectly inelastic, momentum is conserved. Hyperelastic, momentum is conserved. So the differences in these, this one ends up being kind of a special situation. But the differences in these have to actually do with energy, with conservation, or sorry, with kinetic energy. So elastic, momentum is conserved. I'll just write P equals P prime, but also K equals K prime. So the total kinetic energy of the system, the kinetic energy of this guy and the kinetic energy of this guy together, before and after, have to be the same. They are equal. Okay? Inelastic, momentum is conserved. P total is P total for the system. But kinetic energy is not conserved. Kinetic energy is not equal to K prime. Completely or perfectly inelastic, this ends up being a really useful situation. And in this situation, you'd think it would be kinetic energy 0 afterwards. No, it doesn't work that way. All this means is the two objects join together. Okay? Two objects or more, two objects become one. Okay? They stick together. Stick. I'm going to demonstrate many of these. Okay? Two objects become one. What's really nice about that is if you think of a conservation of momentum problem, you had two balls here and they hit each other, right? And you have to find the momentum here and the momentum here and the total momentum and then use this. Well, guess what? It's now one big object with the masses combined. So you can just take that momentum divided by the total mass and you can get your velocity after the collision. So this actually makes the problem easier. Instead of having 4 different things going on, you've got 3 different things going on. Hyperelastic is another one. It's kind of the reverse of this. One object becomes more than one object, we'll just say. An explosion, okay? So hyperelastic, if you think of, and I'll show you a situation, hyperelastic can actually increase the kinetic energy. So this one, kinetic energy is conserved in an elastic. Oh, momentum is conserved in all of these. But kinetic energy is conserved in elastic, and then in all these other ones, the kinetic energy is not conserved. In most cases in the universe, kinetic energy decreases after a collision. Some of that energy goes off into heating, deformation, sound energy. Hyperelastic energy comes from some other source. Think of if I have two carts connected by a spring, and there's a string in between, and I light that string on fire, and the thermal energy eventually allows the spring to push. So there's potential energy in there, and that string allows that to go. I'm going to demonstrate all of these right now. Actually, it's a little harder to demonstrate. Sorry for any disruption there. There we go. Hope that'll still work. There it is. It's a little harder to demonstrate just, it's a little harder to demonstrate just inelastic, because almost every collision is inelastic. Here is, what I've got is I've got these two magnets in these two parts. Okay, so this would be an elastic collision. It's elastic because very, very, very little energy is lost is transferred from kinetic to some other form. I shouldn't say loss during that collision. Okay, you didn't hear any sound coming off it, right? There was no. So that's pretty close to a perfectly elastic collision. Okay, if I then take those magnets out, and you heard a whole lot of sound. Okay, it may have been only a little kinetic energy transferred out of the system, but there was some. Okay, completely inelastic. I think I can do with the other sides. I've got Velcro. Completely inelastic would look like this. Oh, should have looked like that. There we go. They stuck together. Maybe it's easier to see if I just keep one of them still. Okay, so there were two objects before, and they became one. They joined together. Okay, and once again, if you're solving the problem, let's say that has a little tiny bit of velocity. This has more. Boom. mv of this one plus the mv of this one equals the m total divided by the v of the system afterwards. So perfectly inelastic collisions are really nice for solving these problems. Let's do one more, and let's do hyperelastic. Hyperelastic. They're together. I got to make sure there's nothing. It was an explosion. Okay, one object. We could view them. They're traveling. You could do this even. I don't know if I could punch the button as they're moving. You could even have a moving object like that, and then energy was released. It was transferred into kinetic energy. So that would be an example of hyperelastic collision. So the big ones you've got: elastic, momentum is conserved, and kinetic energy is conserved. Anything that's not elastic is going to be inelastic. Okay, and inelastic means some of the kinetic energy was transferred into another form, but the total kinetic energy of the objects in the system is not equal to what it was before the collision. Completely or perfectly inelastic collision, they stick together. It doesn't mean that the kinetic energy disappears completely, it's still moving, but it does mean that they stick together. That's what that definition is. And then hyperelastic, one object becomes multiple. Really, the definition of hyperelastic is anytime the kinetic energy of the system increases after the event. But explosion is a great example of it. Those are the major types of collisions, and in the next lesson I will show how to do the math for a perfectly elastic collision, and this really only comes up in AP Physics C. It doesn't come up in AP Physics